Some home upgrades look stunning in photographs but quietly drain joy from a home the moment you live with them. Choices that feel high-end in a showroom turn into daily frustrations. If you are renovating, step back before these decisions become drawbacks. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. Pivot front doors. Pivot front doors were once seen as the ultimate luxury entrance, a statement piece that signals a high-end home. They felt architectural and resort-like, but in real-life use, that drama hides a weakness. The core issue is that pivot doors do not seal like traditional hinged doors. They rotate on a central spindle, leaving air gaps around the frame. On cold mornings, you feel a thin stream of cold air sliding around the door. On windy nights, a soft whistle runs along the seal. When sunlight hits the gap from outside, a thin line of daylight traces the door frame. Pets quickly learn how easy it is to slip past on the open side, and the heavy swing makes it dangerous to close quickly near a small animal. After a season or two, heating and cooling bills creep up. The pivot mechanism develops a faint mechanical groan. Buyers don't see luxury. They see an entrance that leaks air and signals expensive future repairs. Real estate agents often advise replacing pivot doors before listing. If you still want drama, a tall, solid wood door with traditional hinges and a wide surround creates presence without the sealing problem. A double door with concealed hinges delivers symmetry while sealing tight. Black stainless steel appliances were once seen as the elegant evolution of the kitchen, less cold than chrome, more modern than white. But in real-life use, the finish reveals its weakness quickly. The core issue is that the dark coating is not solid metal. It is a tinted layer applied over regular stainless steel, reacting to every contact. A pot handle scrapes the side of the fridge during dinner prep and leaves a silver mark no polish removes. A magnetic clip catches and reveals the lighter base metal underneath. Fingerprints show sharper than on traditional stainless, and the oily handprints near the handles resist even specialized cleaners. When sunlight enters through the window, every smudge and scratch becomes visible. After a year or two, the coating wears unevenly around the handles, near the controls, along the edges. Small flakes appear. Buyers don't see premium. They see appliances that show every scratch and signal expensive replacement rather than touch-up repair. Today's buyers want kitchens that age gracefully. If you still want a dark aesthetic, brushed graphite or matte titanium finishes hide wear far better. Traditional stainless steel with darker cabinetry creates contrast without the fragile coating. Shadow gap baseboards. Shadow gap baseboards were once seen as the cleanest way to finish a wall, a recessed channel where the wall meets the floor. They felt modern and intentional, but in real-life use, that channel becomes the dirtiest seam in the room. The core issue is that the gap is a perfect trap, exposed enough to collect everything that moves along the floor. Dust travels along the floor and settles into the channel, building up in a thin gray line along every wall. After mopping, small puddles of cleaner pool into the gap and dry into chalky residue. Without a real baseboard to protect them, the lower walls collect nicks from every vacuum pass, every chair pushed back, every shoe scuff. You bend down and realize the entire perimeter has been collecting damage for months. Over time, the recess collects enough buildup that the clean line looks dark. In humidity, the gap traps moisture and the paint discolors. Buyers don't see minimal. They see a feature that signals constant cleaning and exposed wall damage. Today's buyers want finishes that hide dirt, not collect it. If you still want a clean look, a flush flat baseboard painted the wall color delivers the architectural effect without the trap. A narrow modern baseboard protects the wall. Curbless showers with linear drains. Curbless showers with linear drains were once seen as the height of spa-inspired bathroom design, a continuous floor that flows into the shower without barriers. But in real-life use, the design depends on engineering rarely executed perfectly. The core issue is that water is redirected by floor slope alone, and a half degree of error sends it the wrong way. On a typical morning, water creeps past the drain toward the bathroom floor. The linear drain traps hair within days of installation. The frameless glass walls offer no shelves or niches for soap, shampoo, or conditioner, so every item ends up on the floor. When the water stops, cold air rushes in because there is no enclosed space to hold the warmth. You step out and the bath mat is wet far beyond the splash zone. Over time, water that escapes finds its way into seams, grout, and the subfloor. Mildew develops where no one can reach it. Buyers don't see spa. They see a bathroom that signals expensive waterproofing concerns. Real estate agents often advise inspecting curbless showers for moisture damage. If you still want a modern shower, a low-profile curb under 2 inches keeps the open feel while preventing water travel. A glass-enclosed walk-in shower with a center drain delivers reliable drainage. Cooktops on kitchen islands. Cooktops on kitchen islands were once seen as the centerpiece of social cooking, the chef facing the family while preparing meals. But in real-life use, the open arrangement creates problems no photograph captures. The core issue is that cooking produces splatter, steam, and odors that travel directly into the rest of the kitchen and living area. A burst of oil from searing meat lands on the island countertop, on the bar stools, and on anything within reach. Steam from boiling pasta rises and drifts into the adjacent living room, settling on upholstery for days. A pendant light over the island collects a faint layer of grease within months. Without a powerful hood above, smoke from a burnt pan lingers throughout the main floor. Over time, the fabric of nearby seating absorbs cooking residue. Pendant lights yellow. Wood floors near the island show small darkening spots. Buyers don't see social cooking. They see a layout that compromises both cooking and entertaining. Today's buyers prefer islands designed for prep and seating, with the cooktop against a wall. If you still want social cooking, a peninsula with the cooktop against the connecting wall delivers the open feel with proper ventilation. A cooktop against a wall paired with a generous island works better. Like this video if you have seen any of these upgrades in a home before. Wall-hung toilets. Wall-hung toilets were once seen as the European-inspired upgrade that made bathrooms feel cleaner and easier to mop around. But in real-life use, the mounting system creates problems nearly invisible until something goes wrong. The core issue is that the tank and structural support are hidden inside the wall. A faint hissing sound develops behind the wall, audible only at night when the house is quiet, and there is no way to know if it is a leak or a valve. The flush mechanism, the supply line, and the tank are all sealed behind tile or drywall. When the bowl needs service, the entire mounting bracket must be exposed. A small leak inside the wall remains invisible for weeks. Over time, the rubber seals inside the wall begin to degrade. Mineral buildup affects the flush valve. Buyers don't see European luxury. They see a fixture that signals expensive in wall repair and hidden water damage. Inspectors flag wall-hung toilets when concealed components cannot be verified. If you still want a clean modern bathroom, a skirted floor mount toilet with a concealed trap delivers the sleek profile with fully accessible plumbing. A one-piece elongated toilet provides the contemporary feel with easy service. Huge sliding or folding glass walls were once seen as the ultimate expression of indoor-outdoor living, transforming a wall into an open passage between home and garden. But in real-life use, the engineering that makes them possible becomes the source of constant problems. The core issue is that every panel runs on a precision track requiring perfect cleanliness to function. A single grain of sand or dropped leaf gets into the bottom track and the doors no longer glide smoothly. Dust, pollen, and pet hair accumulate in the channels within weeks. The rubber gaskets that seal the panels collect a film of grime difficult to wipe clean. On hot afternoons, the giant glass heats the entire room beyond what air conditioning can handle. On cold mornings, the same glass radiates cold inward. Over time, the tracks wear, the rollers loosen, and the doors drag. Buyers don't see indoor-outdoor living. They see a custom system that requires specialized service, expensive parts, and ongoing climate control challenges. If you still want indoor-outdoor connection, a large fixed picture window with a single sliding door delivers visual openness with simpler maintenance. A set of French doors provides architectural rhythm without the track system. Velvet upholstered furniture was once seen as the unmistakable signal of warmth and sophistication. a soft material that elevated a living room beyond ordinary fabric. But in real-life use, velvet behaves nothing like the photographs suggest. The core issue is that the pile catches and holds everything: light, lint, fingerprints, and pet hair. A guest sits on the sofa, stands up, and leaves a clear outline of where their body rested. A cat walks across a velvet ottoman and leaves a trail of hair visible from across the room. In direct sunlight, the velvet at the seat cushions fades within months while the protected sides stay rich, leaving the piece visibly two-toned. A spilled glass of wine soaks immediately into the pile. Over time, the seat areas develop a permanent crush from regular use. The pile direction becomes uneven. Color variations from sun exposure deepen. Buyers don't see sophistication. They see furniture that shows every footprint and cannot be cleaned without specialized service. Today's buyers prefer durable performance fabrics. If you still want luxurious texture, performance velvet woven from solution-dyed fibers resists fading and stains. A matte boucle or chenille delivers texture without the directional pile. Matte black faucets and hardware were once seen as the modern alternative to traditional chrome, a striking contrast that made any sink or shower feel current. But in real-life use, the matte finish reveals problems immediately. The core issue is that the black coating shows every water spot and every fingerprint with a contrast that traditional chrome simply hides. A single drop of hard water leaves a chalky white mineral spot directly on the faucet neck. Toothpaste splatter on the bathroom faucet shows up sharper than on any chrome equivalent. After cleaning, the cloth itself leaves faint streaks that need a second wipe. The matte texture catches and holds soap residue in microscopic ridges. You wipe the faucet clean before guests arrive and notice new spots within the hour. Over time, the matte coating wears in high contact areas, around the handle, at the base of the spout, where fingers grip the lever. Buyers don't see modern. They see fixtures that show every spot and signal expensive replacement. Today's market is moving back toward brushed nickel. If you still want a dark aesthetic, brushed graphite or gunmetal finishes hide water spots better than matte black. An aged bronze faucet delivers a moody tone with a textured surface that disguises wear. Linear fireplaces with no mantle were once seen as the minimalist modern statement, a ribbon of flame floating in a clean wall with nothing above to interrupt the architectural line. But in real-life use, the absence of a mantle creates problems. No design photograph anticipates. The core issue is that fireplaces produce heat and soot that rise vertically, traveling directly up the wall without a shelf to deflect them. A faint dark shadow develops above the linear flame within months of regular use, slowly staining the wall in a subtle gradient. Soot particles attach to the wall paint and resist cleaning. In homes with art or a television mounted above, the surface gradually accumulates heat damage. Without a mantle, there is no place to set seasonal decor, no shelf for family photographs, no resting surface for candles. Over time, the wall above develops permanent discoloration that requires repainting. Mounted electronics show accelerated wear from the heat. Buyers don't see minimal. They see a fireplace that signals wall damage and a missing focal point for decorating. If you still want a modern fireplace, a slim floating mantle in natural wood or stone deflects heat while preserving the contemporary feel. A taller stone surround protects the wall and creates visual presence. Continuous indoor-outdoor floors were once seen as the seamless culmination of modern living, the indoor floor flowing through the doorway into the patio without a transition. But in real-life use, the continuous surface invites everything from outside to come directly in. The core issue is that without a threshold, there is no barrier between protected interior and exposed exterior. Rain blows through the open doorway and runs across the indoor floor for several feet. Wind carries leaves, dust, and pollen onto the same surface where you walk barefoot. The hard, polished concrete or stone selected for this look is unforgiving on knees and feet during long days at home. During heavy storms, water pools at the transition and draws moisture upward into the subfloor. Over time, the floor near the opening shows wear from foot traffic. Grout discolors. In humid climates, mold develops in the transition seam. Buyers don't see seamless. They see a floor that invites weather damage and signals potential water issues. Inspectors often flag zero threshold transitions for moisture testing. If you still want indoor-outdoor flow, a recessed track threshold under ½ an inch creates a near-invisible barrier while keeping water and debris outside. A covered patio with the same flooring delivers visual continuity. Downdraft cooktop ventilation. Downdraft cooktop ventilation was once seen as the most elegant solution for keeping kitchens visually clean, a vent that disappears into the counter rather than hanging from the ceiling. But in real-life use, the design works against physics. The core issue is that heat, smoke, and steam rise naturally, and a downdraft vent attempts to pull them downward. A pan of frying onions produces a column of smoke that climbs straight up past the vent and spreads across the ceiling. Steam from boiling water drifts sideways into the living area before the vent can capture it. The motor under the cooktop runs at high power and produces a constant hum that competes with conversation. Cooking odors settle into upholstery in nearby rooms within days. Over time, the underfloor ducting collects grease and requires service most homeowners never schedule. Cooking smells become persistent. Buyers don't see sleek. They see a ventilation system that signals trapped cooking odors and expensive duct maintenance. Today's buyers prefer traditional range hoods that actually clear the air. If you still want a clean overhead look, a slim integrated hood that recesses into a custom cabinet panel keeps the ceiling line uninterrupted while providing real ventilation. A clean lined island hood balances design and function. A home's value at sale is not only about size or location, it is about the decisions that aged inside. The choices you just saw can look architectural in photographs but turn into drawbacks during a real transaction. Once buyers form a negative impression, you lose your leverage. Does your home have any of these upgrades?